get some Welcome to Racin' and stuff, the show where we talk about NASCAR, other performers of auto racing, and of course other stuff, meaning other sports. And as always, I'm here with my good friend Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Good.
Can you say that like you mean it now? Like you actually are good?
I am fantastic.
That's what I want to hear. Let's get pumped up about today.
This show is what I live for.
Oh, that makes one of us.
Wait, that actually sounded kind of sarcastic. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I do enjoy this, and
of course,
numero 23.
The big 2-3.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Some sort of
Kobe Bryant. No, he's number 24.
Yeah, some sort of milestone, right? Are we?
No. Yeah, I don't know. We're 23 100ths up to 100 episodes.
That made that made sense, but it was kind of. Can I, on episode 25 next Monday, can I bring in cupcakes as like to celebrate?
Can you?
I'm asking you if it's okay.
We'll talk about that. No, one thing I did want to say.
I'll make them myself, and I've never made cupcakes before.
One thing I did want to say, gas is dropping. That's good.
Woot.
Hey, when you drive as much as I do, it's important to watch gas continue to plummet.
All right. I hope some of our listeners are really into that. If not, you just wasted a minute. A minute that we will never get back, that we could be spending talking about the first 18 races of the 2009 season in NASCAR.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. We're not doing a cheerleading contest.
No, bring. This is crazy. This is crazy.
All right. We would be talking about the previous days or weekend Sprint Cup race today if there was one. So instead, we're gonna talk about the Busch race, the Kyle Busch one. You said you want to talk about, right, Chris?
Yeah, no. Kyle Busch dominated. Kyle Busch won. That's about it. Moving on.
I believe you mentioned before we started something about wanting to talk about it. Is that correct?
Oh no, that was sarcasm though. Well, now you brought it up.
No. You clearly said you didn't want to talk about it.
Oh wait, are you messing with me right now?
Obviously.
Oh, I really didn't know what was going on.
All right.
I was like, wait a minute, I didn't say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't say that. I thought you'd be like, no, I didn't.
Maybe I said it.
No, you didn't, actually.
It's just like you're inside my head, just like...
I know, I'm a ninja. I'm a mind ninja that talks about sports.
I even played that card on you at your party and still lost.
Yeah, I know, because I am a ninja. It doesn't impress me. Anyway,
okay,
that is completely beside the point, which is we are going to talk about the previous half, the first half of the 2009 season.
Yes,
and I just... I don't know if there's necessarily a running theme this season. I guess it's Tony Stewart and Stewart Haas race. I think that seems like the focal point. Would you agree?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. There's not like an overlying like this has happened in 15 of the 18 races or this has happened or whatever. But I think that is correct because you consistently hear about that. At least I do every week.
Well, and I think the funny thing was like back in March, I was saying this is Gordon's year, and now it's like Gordon's still second in points, and yet he just doesn't, for whatever reason, it's like you don't think about him now, you think about Stewart for whatever reason.
Yeah, and Tony Stewart, that team is just, you said something a few weeks ago on the show that really that I really thought about, and it's very interesting, and I wanted to talk about it, was that Tony Stewart is obviously having a phenomenal year, is having a very successful year. Call me in 2 or 3 years to see if they're still championship contenders, and yeah. I agree with that. However, the one thing I've said all along that's kind of become a running gag on the show is I'm the only one that predicted they were going to have success. However, I will even say I'm a little impressed by the second team. I'm a little impressed by the 39.
Well, and
even I didn't think it was because Ryan Newman I had no faith in as a driver. So the fact that Stewart's leading the point, yeah, that's great. But he's leading the points. That's great. And
to be fair, what you said was you thought Stewart wouldn't do as bad as we thought we did. So that doesn't mean you saw him being the point leader. Honestly, did you honestly see him being the point leader at this time?
No. Well, and that would be even more based off of his track record for the first half, not his team. But the fact that he has a new team and his track record, he's defied his track record.
I would say if he's top 10 in points right now, that was better than expected.
Yeah, so the fact that
people
he's the
weren't
point leader,
expecting,
I wouldn't even have said that.
Yeah.
I said he was going to make the chase easily. Obviously, I was right about that, but
yeah, and
I didn't
it's
think
going
he
to
was
be
gonna
easily.
leader.
I mean, I would have a hard time arguing that he's going to miss the chase, and I can pretty much argue anything, despite whatever the correct logic being.
Yeah.
But I think the focal point. I mean, this is kind of at the end of the season, when you read all those or watch review shows or read all those review articles, it's always going to be at one point, regardless of what happens from here on out, that Stewart had a phenomenal season with this new team and not only that, he seems like he's a changed person. Just he's so much more relaxed and things don't seem to bug him as much for whatever reason. Again, I don't know why, but that seems to be it. And in my opinion, that's the big story. But, also, I mean, it's hard not to think about Johnson's still doing his thing. He's top 5 in points. Gordon's kind of had a comeback season of sorts. I mean, he didn't really go anywhere last year, but he won a race, broke a long winless streak. Kurt Busch is doing phenomenal, and those 4 have been the best cars this year.
Yep.
And I think it's a shame for Kurt Busch that he's having a very stellar season for himself, and nobody thinks about him anymore at this point in the season. They were talking about him back in April, but not right now.
Yeah.
And he actually was leading the points after Talladega, I do believe.
He was leading the points for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so I mean there was that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've said this before, and I agree. It is pretty much those 4 that have been consistently in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a fly on my mic. That's exciting. I lost my train of thought. Oh, those 4 have consistently week in and week out been the 4, and you can see it. The points I think reflected a little bit. And
you see there's 200 points separating Gordon and Kurt Busch, and then there's 100 points between Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin. So I mean, to a certain extent, they were a lot closer about a month ago, I think, and then they've all kind of spread a little bit. And it seems to me as everybody's kind of settling into where they're going to be come Richmond in September, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see any big moves in the top 5 or 6 right now.
No, I mean, like you'll have you'll have like your move once you're shifting of a position a little bit here and there, but I agree.
And obviously, that's going to be farther back. You're going to see the, like the 7th to 13th, 14th, or we're going to see a lot more movement. Even then, 7th, like Newman still has a solid 50 points on Case Kane for his next position. So it's like, even though that can happen, it probably won't be. Yeah, I know, very professional of us, right, guys? Got to fly in here. Yeah, I think I can pull an Obama and just back it. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, you're not. Everybody's pretty much settled in now, except for right around there, the chase, and you got guys like. I think it's pretty cool to see a guy like Kane or Montoya looking like they're chase contenders right now, regardless of whether or not I think they'll make the chase. It's cool right now.
Yeah, what this year has done. I mean, what's interesting is this year for me has been kind of a resurrection or a resurgence because I've watched pretty much every race, or at least a majority of every race, and there's been races that have been better than others, but I just feel like it's just like I said, I have a different view on this year because now that I'm really like hardcore back into it, like I was 4 or 5 years ago, it's awesome to see week in and week out the different storylines and following it and being a part of it again. And
there are some trends that we've noticed, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just I think the biggest trend is that so for whatever reason Stewart has been on every week. Actually, I thought by now there at least would have been that race where he gets in a wreck or something by now, and it hasn't happened. Goes to Chicagoland, even qualifies 32nd, but finishes 4th, makes all the right moves, no mistakes.
Yeah, that race. You've talked a couple of times about your champions luck. That race for me kind of showed it a little bit in that that flat tire that he had, he caught it under caution. Had they gone back to green,
very true.
Had they gone back to green, he would have either wrecked or gone at least a lap down, finished 20th, 21st, something like that. And the fact that he came back in another time for topping off or for another reason. He ended up pitting twice as many. He pitted 4 times in the last 100 laps or whatever, and everybody else pitted twice, and he still finished 4th. And that's a huge thing to me. As he even in his interview,
I would even argue though 4 times probably means he had fresher tires at the end of the race.
Well,
good strategic move, but I mean, of course, his car is going to be better on fresher tires.
Well, but the strategic move for having the flat tire wasn't strategic,
right?
So, but Tony Stewart has a lot of luck this year, and not a lot. I mean, he's run well, but he's also gotten a little bit of luck.
Well, I mean, think of it like this: you can't finish well without some sort of luck. I mean, think of it like to not have a part break is lucky.
Yeah,
in and of itself.
Yeah, and he was pretty close, and I wasn't really, really, really lucky, but he was close to that wreck with Menard on the front straightaway. I mean, Menard goes the